good days and the bad days, the long nights and the short ones, the highest of the highs and lowest of the lows, Al was always there. But soon enough, Al started making me late for class. They distracted me from completing homework assignments and eventually getting in the way of all the things I love to do. Al was always there. And at the beginning of grade 11, Al just wouldn't leave my side. I spent half, if not more, than waking hours at school, and you'd imagine how frustrating it'd be for Al to be at your side every second of the day. So what do when Al is the reason you can't have one day without an irrational fear? When Al is the reason you can have one day without an irrational fear, when Al is the reason you can't complete a homework assignment, when Al is the reason class becomes a challenge and not talking about the content, when you tell Al to leave but they keep coming back at the sound of a bell. Although Al is with me on this stage today, I've learned how to live with them. Al is my anxiety, and as soon as I discovered the practice of mindfulness, it became his enemy. Now, Al is something that holds you back from living in the present moment, which mindfulness can actually help you overcome. It can be recurring feelings of anger, sadness, or stress, or perhaps a mental illness, such as depression, anxiety, or an eating disorder. Everyone has their own version of Al, whether it be for a short or prolonged period of time. But there's large misconception around what mindfulness actually is. A lot presume to believe that it is simply meditation and nothing else. Clear your mind, and if you can't sit still for 5 minutes, you reach for the phone in your back pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. But mindfulness is noticing these thoughts. It's acknowledging the presence of Al without any judgment, and then returning back to the present moment. You can do this through a body scan, where you pinpoint certain stressors in your body. Use yoga or meditation to help you be present in the moment. Having a check-in with your emotions, mindfully eating, practicing gratitude, and being kind to your forgiving mind, even when Al takes control. Now, the school system teaches us how to take care of our bodies and physical health. Not so much our minds. We aren't taught how to be mentally healthy, yet for the most part are expected to be, and you can't really take a class for that. So what do when Al walks into school with you every morning? Last year, I had the amazing opportunity to be a part of the Mindfulness Ambassador program at Central Peel, which ran for the first time. I had the amazing opportunity to not only meet new people, but practice mindfulness in a situation regularly where it was needed the most. But unfortunately, this program was not offered to every student in school. It did not have the capacity to do so. So my goal here today is to inspire some of you to take action and integrate mindfulness into your school community. But the question a lot of you might have is, why? When I was a part of the MUP, I learned how to easily deal with adverse events, like when Al was pestering me during a test. Well, in reality, it was multiple tests. I gradually learned how to not get caught up in Al's enticing worries about the future and regrets about the past. I didn't have as many panic attacks. I ran and I slept better. And I gradually became more grateful for the simple things like seeing a friend in the morning. And on these days, Al doesn't follow me around as much anymore. I'm sure you've all heard of the fight, flight, or freeze response, or as I like to call it, when Al comes for a visit. And understanding this small yet crucial biological link between your body and your brain can make it so much easier to see how important it is to integrate mindfulness into your life. So let's imagine this. You're in a social situation with a group of friends, and you've said something pretty significant. And immediately after, you noticed one of your friends frowns, and their body language completely changes. Al swoops in, and you begin to panic. Now, your options are A, you want to run away, B, confront the person, or C, completely freeze. Welcome to the sympathetic nervous system, a fancy set of words for the fight, flight, or freeze response. And before we buckle up, what we want to do is get Al out of there. We want to return the body systems back to a regular state and make sure Al can take control. But that's usually only possible if your body's prepared you for this, which mindfulness can help you do. Return the body systems back to a regular state. It takes you a step back and helps you decide how to respond so your body systems don't do that for you. Isn't that incredible? Mindfulness gives you that ability and power to do so. Sharon Salzberg, a best-selling author, as well as a teacher of Buddhist meditation practices in Massachusetts, stated that mindfulness isn't difficult. We just have to remember to do it. And quite honestly, after the MAP ended, I found that Al was coming back more than ever, and I didn't do much to stop it. So this year, for the month of April, I went on a mindfulness journey. I committed to myself that I would be practicing it every single day, in and outside school. I took 5 deep breaths at the start of each class, and at the end of each class, I used some of the techniques I learned in the MAP. I checked in with myself emotionally and physically, and I tried to ignore Al, which was my mistake. Unfortunately, this only lasted for a week. And I predicted that it was probably a lack of self-regulation, or perhaps what I thought would be more true is it would have lasted a lot longer if I was practicing in an environment where there's other students doing it as well, collectively in school. The question some of you may still have is, why? So, I decided to conduct a short survey for the students in the program this year who are from all grades. I wanted to collect real results from real students who had been practicing mindfulness regularly in a school setting to see what the results would be like. Here are what 3 of the students had to say. Mindfulness is a great gateway to help you manage your emotions, as well as connect with other people in the world. I believe it's truly amazing to a point where you can keep it in the back of your mind as an escape from your troubles and worries, as well as many of us are in need of help, but don't know about mindfulness. All of these students responded and said that they will continue to use it later in their life in the future. And with that, 70% of the students who had been practicing 4 times a week or more, 80% of these students stated that it significantly helped with their stress surrounding class, homework, as well as improving their personal confidence, self-esteem, and anger management. These students now have a tool for a lifetime to help them use against Al in the face of adversities. But what I found the most interesting was that these students had taught 1, if not more people in their lives about the practice of mindfulness. If we continue to educate and practice with other students at school, we can extend our knowledge to our friends and family and help them in the exact same way. Along with some other students, we came up with some ways on how we can actually bring this art of mindfulness to school. A suggestion that I came up with was using the Take 5 technique, where you place your hand out like a star, tracing each finger as you breathe in, and then going back down as you breathe out until you've traced all your fingers. Something simple that can be implemented for Okana, and I found personally that it's helped me ground my mind as well as help my concentration with class lessons. Another example would be teachers who are more motivated and engaged can include a very short yet helpful 5-minute morning meditation, or provide mindfulness audio resources for students who need it 3 times a week. And if not in classes, then in guidance offices, contact rooms, where it's needed the most. Learning how to accept and brush Al aside for the betterment of your mental health, or perhaps illness, doesn't happen overnight. It must be taught by yourself or by someone else and practiced regularly. It's time and it's effort, and most importantly, it's commitment from yourself. I still constantly am fighting with Al, and it's frightening to say that I probably always will, in and outside of school. But without the support from the MAP and learning what made Al go away when I needed them to the most, Al would have probably been the only thing I knew today. And that decide how you want to implement mindfulness into your life, whether it be on your own or with the help of someone else, a trusted adult. Ask yourself these two questions. What is it that prevents you from living in the present moment? What is your